What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be ranking every single LEGO Star Wars set from 2024, excluding the two gift with purchases and the two polybags. So let's jump right into this. So first up, we got the Sith Infiltrator. This set was actually pretty good. I'm not a fan of the Sith Infiltrator build, but the minifigures were great. Though we've gotten a ton of Darth Maul, and Qui-Gon was kind of the same. I feel like it's not quite A. I'm going to put it in B. Next up, we got the X-Wing mech. I'm not a fan of the mechs in general, but this is a cheap way to get an X-Wing pilot. It's a decent set I get, but, like, I'm just not a fan of it. And then the Bark Speeder Escape. Okay, this set's actually pretty good, and besides those terrible Clone Trooper helmets. Next up, we have the Phantom Menace Brickheads collection. This is actually something pretty good for collectors, but it's just not really my cup of tea, so I'm gonna put that in B as well. Then we've Paz Vizsla versus Moff Gideon. Okay, this one, I actually do plan on picking this up quite soon. I want to put it in A, but I don't feel like. Mm, you know what? Fine. We'll put it in A, and then we can always move it if need be. But I feel like it's just barely an A. Next up, we have the Duel on Parade. This set, that's I have to put an A. That set was really, really, really good. Ugh, the Crimson Firehawk. Gonna put that in C. It's just not my cup of tea. Yes, the build is decent, I guess, but it's really I'm not a fan of that stuff. Next up, the MIDI scale Tantive 4. Hmm. I have not gotten any of the MIDI scale sets, and honestly, I'm not a huge fan of them, but for display, personally, I think the best MIDI scale is the Invisible Hand. The Tantive, I don't know, it just looks kind of goofy in my opinion, so that's gonna go into B as well. Next up, the Clone Trooper Android Battle Pack S. Do I even need to explain? No, I don't. Next up, the TIE Interceptor. Okay, this set, I think this is gonna go in B as well. A lot of these sets, they're kind of just mediocre. Like they're good, but they're not like the best. Next up is the R2D2. Again, kind of a mediocre set, good for display, but the Darth Malik minifigure that it came with is pretty good. Ooh, the Dark Falcon set. I'm contemplating putting it in S, but um, I feel like from a certain perspective, it's kind of kiddish and kind of goofy, but it's really such a great set. Like, I'm gonna put it in A. It feels criminal, but we're gonna put it in A. Next up, I forgot what this was actually called. I'm pretty sure it's the Imperial Dropship versus the Rebels. This is basically a battle pack. This is going in A because we have not gotten something like this for a while. And then the buildable droid, sorry, that's in C. I'm sorry. That I just not a fan of it. The Ankh Cinder. Oh, I lo- I actually kind of have grown to like this set. The ship build is pretty good, but the minifigures just aren't my favorite, and I'm not too interested in the show either, so gonna put that one in B as well. The Scarlac Pit, we haven't gotten one of these for a while. The minifigure selection was just the same as usual. Kind of a very mediocre set, B as well. TIE Fighter and X-Wing mashup. Mm, I mean, we haven't really gotten a lot of sets recently with both TIE Fighters and X-Wings, and I'm pretty sure this one is like 100, $120. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's just, I don't know. A lot of these sets, like, they're good, but they're not like a wonderful. I'm gonna go with B. The Invisible Hand. This one is going in A because even though it is a MIDI scale set and that's not really my cup of tea, I love the Invisible Hand. It looks really good. And then the Pod Racer diorama, that's gonna go in B as well. Just not my favorite. Never was a fan of the Pod Racers. Boarding the Tantive 4. I'm contemplating putting this in A, not because of the minifigures. Well, not because of the Fives minifigure, of course. That is not what's meriting it in A. I feel like in terms of a hallway set, it is pretty good. And those Rebel minifigures are also very good as well. I don't know, though. I want to put it in it. I feel like I'm going to put it at the top of B. And we are going to be sorting these out by category towards the end of this video. Right now, we're just getting them into their basic positions. Next up, the Droideka. Okay, this was very, very well made. Like, it's not my favorite, but it was a very well made set. Star Destroyer gotta be an A. That was an amazing set. C3PO, yeah, we'll put him next to R2D2. Just not my favorite. Captain Rex, yeah, sorry, that's going in S. That. Say what you want about the Captain Rex minifigure and what Lego did by putting him in the Venator, but you can't deny he's a good minifigure, and getting him in a microfighter, like, come on. The MIDI scale Millennium Falcon. I feel like the set looks really messy. That's my one qualm with it, like, as a midi scale set, so, I'm gonna put that somewhere in the middle of B. Next up, we have the Mandalorian Amazon Mandalore Battle Pack. Oh, this one. This is definitely S. It's not as good as Captain Rex's Y-Wing or the Clone Droid Battle Pack, but this was a great battle pack. I love how the minifigure is looking. Even though it is a bit small and lacking in some areas, it's really good. Jedi Bob Starfighter. Top of A, because it was kind of a disappointment for me. We could have had a better minifigure than that Admirable Bar Clone or whatever that's supposed to be. Next up, we got Java's Desert. No, Java's Sail Barge, actually, not the Desert Skiff. We already did that. I want to put it in S, but Java's, meh, it's not really my favorite set, but they did a pretty good job on it. Although the interior is kind of cramped, so I'm gonna put it second in A. Next up, the Commander Cody Brickheads. Yeah, I mean, it's something for Clone Wars fans, I guess. I'm just not a fan of Brickheads. Never have been. That's gonna go in B. Next up, the Advent Calendar. The Advent Calendar for this year, I feel like the Leia and Luke minifigures, like, we didn't really need those, but there are some other minifigures, such as the Ahsoka Tano, the Praetorian Guard, and I believe there's a Clone Trooper in there. I I actually am gonna pick up this Advent Calendar. It looks pretty good. Now we're gonna sort these by category. So in C, yeah, the buildable droids are gonna go at the bottom. Now, do I prefer the mech or the Crimson Firehawk? Mm, it's gotta be mech, I'm sorry. 4 plus sets are just yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Next up in Group B, Tantive 4 definitely gotta be on one of the top ones there. Same with the X-Wing and TIE Fighter mashup, that was another good one. Same with the TIE Interceptor. The Ankh Cinder, not quite as good as some of the other ones. Desert Skiff, it's just a repeat of what we've gotten before. I feel like this is pretty good rank, although I do want to lower the Droideka a bit. And same with the Commander Cody Brickheads. So yeah, that is my it kind of changed some stuff around in B tier. It's very hard to rank all these in B tier because they're all kind of just mediocre sets. It's really hard to rank this stuff because a lot of them are mediocre sets. Having to sort through all of them, so I'm not putting too much effort in sorting B tier. Now we're gonna skip up to S tier really quick. Of course, I think this is already how I want it to be, honestly. Should I put no, no, no. Like as good as it is, I would actually. Okay, I think the way I'm gonna is if like what would I buy if I could only buy one of these? What would I buy? I would obviously buy the Captain Rex, obviously. So yeah, that is definitely going to be say what you want, but in my opinion, that is the best set of 2024. Not because it's good, but because it's cheap and it gives us what we want. Next up in A tier, Dark Falcon definitely has to go above Jabba's Sail Barge. I'm sorry, that's going at the end. The Invisible Hand is good, but once again, it's a midi scale set. Same with the Advent Calendar. I really like that Imperial dropship though. That was really good. The Star Destroyer is also great. Jedi Bomb Starfighter, it's good, but it was a disappointment. Let's be honest with ourselves here. And then the Paz Vizsla set, it's good, but it like barely made it into A as it is. The Duel on Parade though was a very good set. I like that. So this is my tier list of all the Lego Star Wars sets from 2024. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys liked the video, and I will see you all next time.